few more details about DC's new distribution plan and the distributors involved. The information changes from day to day, and a lot of misinformation is going out, partly because of the speed, partly because of the people involved. So let's clear a few things up. Hey everybody, this is Perch. Unless you've lived under a rock the last week, there have been that there are two new distributors in the mix, Lunar and UCS. Lunar is a basic child company of Discount Comic Book Service, and UCS is a child company of Midtown Comics. They're actually being created as sister companies with some differentiation, some segmentation of orders and business, which of course worried some retailers around where their data was going if they were going to a competitor. So at least that seems to be some of it. A lot of things are changing in real time. And when I say changing, maybe changing is the wrong word. Maybe it's actually that the information is going out slowly in real time. They're trying to do a lot in a very short amount of time. They're trying to get these new retailers distribution agreements stood up very quickly with very little time to get comics out as fast as humanly possible. And that's obviously creating some missteps and some false reporting. But a couple updates to what we've heard. Number one, a couple sites, in particular, Bleeding Cool has made some comments that make it at least read like DC has severed their agreement with Diamond. That is not the case per Diamond, per DC, that they have not severed the relationship, and retailers who have an agreement with Diamond can continue to, work with Diamond and put content out there. And they're still a DC distributor. That has not changed. And it's weird that rumor's going out. A little bit suspicious that rumor's going out, but Diamond is still in the mix. This is augmentation to Diamond is basically, and Diamond is saying they can't comment on any contractual elements and everything else. What we know is that obviously DC is moving forward. Maybe Diamond is pursuing legal action. I'd be surprised, just based on how everything is going. But they are definitely still in the mix with Diamond. So if you're a retailer, you like Diamond, you want to wait for Diamond, you're certainly welcome to wait for Diamond. The other big kind of thing to clarify is at first it read like there were not going to be territories for the two new distributors, but now there are. There's kind of a East Coast and a West Coast, so kind of a weird little loop. Basically, the East Coast is going to be run by USC or Midtown, and the West Coast, Midwest, is going to be run by Lunar, i.e. DCBS. It does not roll off the tongue. And so there are going to be some territories there. My belief is that ultimately, if this continues and these people stay in the mix and this becomes a longer term thing, my belief is that those territories may go away and it may just be a pick who you're most comfortable with. But in the short term, getting up and getting going and utilizing the kind of the network and dividing up the work, it probably makes sense to have territories. That's speculation on my part, but based on how the earlier announcements went, where it didn't look like there were territories and then suddenly they appeared, it feels like the territory thing was kind of done for convenience there toward the end. But that's basically how things are going, and there are certainly a lot more elements to this as we see. Like I've mentioned before, the plan is basically to have reprints, kind of very safe issues, low order issues in week one, and slowly roll out week 2, week 3 with bigger and bigger titles until you finally get to like the heavy hitters of Batman in June. So still a long ways to go before we hit Batman, but this allows these new distributors to kind of ease into things. It also throws a bit of a bone to Diamond in that they're not yanking out kind of a core, big part of the business from Diamond. They're still hoping that Diamond's back up on their feet, those orders can be processed, and life is all good. The orders that retailers have put through Diamond do not get auto-canceled. They're still in the system. They will be fulfilled as soon as Diamond can resume operations. So all that is where it is. There's a lot of speculation, again, about where all this goes. I guess the other piece to add is we have not heard that the other publishers are going to utilize this system or not. We don't know if that's being offered to them, but I have at least heard some back channel that it will be, and that this is, the structure is being put in place for a reason, and that others can go into it. Again, further speculation on my part. I think Marvel would be the last to do this because they do tend to be, they tend to not adjust contracts, sometimes even to their own detriment. So if they're more inclined to wait it out so to speak. But at the same point, Marvel is unlikely to let DC just kind of run the table for a month to 6 to 8 weeks if necessary. So I think Marvel, if it looks like DC is getting some traction, they will quickly hop on board, and DC will have done a lot of the legwork in the early prep to get this going. So, in a good position for them to take advantage of a system that already exists. So that's the news as I know it. Again, it's changing constantly. So please, 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 even though you heard this from me, don't trust me. I would say go to the sites, go to Diamond for official statements, go to Midtown, DCBS, go to DC. You can see official statements there. Sites like Newsarama are doing a good job of a no emotion reporting of some of this data. They're just printing the press releases. They're not going all in on commentary and a lot of other things. Sites like Bleeding Cool seem to be shading the facts quite a bit, and they're printing some wrong information. Like I said, Bleeding Cool said that DC dumped Diamond. Diamond had to issue a statement say they didn't. So just be a little cautious of what you're hearing on podcast places, including me, because what I'm saying right now, if you're listening to this 6 hours later, the news may have changed. So hopefully this is of some value, and I want to make sure I'm giving you tools to go get the information other places if you need to. That's the important part. That's how we all maintain trust and credibility in this time. Do you have any questions? Hey, leave a comment below. Like, subscribe, introduce to a friend. Let's get everybody on this kind of news train. Follow me on Twitter at Comic Perch and ask me questions there. Otherwise, thanks for living. Yes, thanks for listening. And here's to new comics.